Okay, so I'm back, and that was super duper trippy. Yeah, sometimes my meditations can get pretty intense. And okay, so I guess I was meditating for probably just a little over an hour. Um, okay, so first of all, I started just by sitting and grounding and trying to just figure out what was going on in my body. The first thing that I noticed was my lower back, my very lower back. I had pain there, so just took note of that. After a bit, of course, my thoughts are going in and out, and I'm thinking about this video, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to say next, and things like that. So, of course, all of that is definitely going on. So, what I'm describing is sort of the points where I am able to tap in and figure out what's going on with me beyond my wandering mind. So then the next thing I kind of did take notice of was in my body, I just felt like there was a surging energy that was all throughout my body. And, I could even feel it kind of on my skin. It was this just kind of like just this surge of energy that was, almost electric. Sat with that for a little while and I guess lots of thinking happened and whatnot, and then once again kind of was able to focus in a little bit more some other stuff, and noticed that in my head I was having some pressure. Sort of felt like in my third eye I was having some pressure and some stuff going on. I could feel an energy that was sort of in my heart. It was like I had all of these ideas and all this stuff that I wanted to do that was in my heart, and then it would go up into my head, and then my head would just be like, no, I can't handle that. That's too much going on. I'm already overloaded. So it was like my brain was just shutting down and saying, no, too much. I've already got too much going on. I'm already confused. So some stuff that's going on with me right now is I'm trying to kind of figure out where my business is going, trying to make some decisions about even what business. I have a couple of ideas. I have a couple of directions I want to go in, and I've just been struggling for a while trying to land where I should go and the direction. It's kind of like, so it's like I have all this bubbling up energy, but I'm having a hard time figuring out where to direct it properly. So I'm feeling super, super scattered. So yeah, that's what I recognized, was that this sort of like all of these feelings, all of this ideas, basically like inspiration was here in my heart, but then it would come up here and my brain was like, it's like a computer with too much going on at once, just saying like, no, can't process that, and just stop even putting any more information out there. So okay, so what I decided to do then was actually lie down and start doing some Reiki. So I do Reiki self-healing quite a bit in my meditations when I get to a point where there's something going on that I feel is a blockage and I want to take it a little bit further. So what the Reiki energy does is it kind of helps to soothe that area, and it helps to kind of loosen things up a little bit, and so that I can actually get a little more information about what might be going on with me. So I switched gears. I lay down, put a pillow and some blankets or whatever, and then I put my hand one on my heart and one on my solar plexus, which you can't see, but it's just below my rib cage. So just that little point where your ribs kind of come together, and just below that. And even though the issue was in my head, it was almost like I just couldn't even put more energy there. So I just sort of let it sit. Anyway, so then the focus did come to my head and my third eye, so inside my head. And this has happened to me many times in my meditations recently, where I will sort of put my attention there. I hate to say focus, because focus sort of implies like you're concentrating, and then it's kind of like you're straining a little bit. So it's more like trying to observe something that's going on without being distracted. So, and I know for myself that like I've had trauma in my life, and that I have a tendency to disassociate. So when something's going on that I don't feel comfortable with, I have all kinds of things that I'll do to disassociate from what's happening directly. I mean, we all do this, right? This is what we're doing. We're trying to get back in touch with our emotions, because we all don't really do that. There's all kinds of things we do to avoid sort of, I guess, feeling what we're feeling, because it's, freaky sometimes. Okay, so in my head, I have this area, right? It's like basically right in the center of my head, where if I get deep into it, I feel like it's nausea. That's what I feel. I feel this nauseous like lump. It's like this lump there that's just, as soon as I go there, I start to feel like ill, basically. Like I'm just like, all like nauseous, gonna throw up or whatever. I don't throw up, but that's how it feels in my head. And this has been going on for so long. So I think today I just decided I'm just gonna go deep and see how far I can go, and try to figure some things out. So I really sat with it for a very long time, more than I normally do, and sorry about that. And just, I guess, kept telling myself that I was in a safe place, that I wanted to know. So I was telling my own, the nausea, basically saying that I do want to know. I feel like I'm okay. I feel like I'm ready to know. And just kept, of course I'm wandering around or whatever, but every time, I'm able to come back, I'm like, okay, just sit with it, just allow it to be, allow it and observe. And so once, I don't know, it's hard to describe exactly the process and how it all happens, but there was a point where I started to think about my father, and I started to think about some stuff from our past. I did have a sense that it was something about that. A sense that maybe, like, something had happened. I know something has happened that my mind, my subconscious has just buried in so many levels that it's just so hard to access. And I think that's just because it's something that don't think I'm able to handle. So what I kept trying to tell myself was that I'm okay now, and I really do want to know, and it's for my healing, and that I don't need to hide it from myself anymore, and I could be okay, and that it really is a good thing, that I really do want to know, like just trying to reassure myself that yes, at this point I actually do want to know, and it will be helpful, so that I don't need to protect myself that way anymore. So what was revealed was some stuff about, I think, a past life and a history with my father that had to do with a past life. So I believe that in a past life I was actually not married to my father, but I was like he was married, and then I was like his mistress, but in this way, like in a very, very, very long time ago, when I actually lived in his home. And this was something like that was, I guess, somewhat normal at the time, was something that, he had a wife, but he also had a mistress that would live in the home, and that was me. And so that for sure has brought up tons of confusion in my current life as his daughter, and like obviously he doesn't know about that either. So and lots of stuff about just kind of suppression and control. So that was a big theme that was coming up, was just control. And I've been feeling a lot lately like I've been really feeling rebellious against everything, and kind of pissed off even about even my own spiritual path right now, because I'd kind of just kept thinking, you know, if I believe this, I believe that and whatnot, that, you know, things are kind of going to pan out in a certain way, and they haven't necessarily panned out exactly that way. And I'm sort of coming back to the realization that it's just going to be me, and I have to, you know, just take charge of whatever my outcomes, and you know, and it's pissing me off a little bit. And the weather's really crappy. It's April and it's snowing and it's not supposed to be, and you know, all these things are happening that just sort of seem like it's not the way things, you know, not according to expectations. And that's a big problem for all of us. It's just, you know, we build these expectations and they don't happen, and then we, you know, it's like we set ourselves up. But it's very normal because just part of this path, right? So yeah, so that was a really interesting revelation. So the big theme, yeah, was about control. And then it just sort of came flooding in, like all the things I was pissed off, and just how I feel about, like, I just feel like this, like, I don't know, almost like a wild animal that I just want to, like, break free of my cage, break free of, like, the rules. And that was another thing, was just the rules of everything, like all of the society rules, the expectations. And then it came to mostly the expectations I put on myself, and just how pissed off I am at myself that I keep getting sucked into, I guess, following the rules, which is sort of what this whole 3D world is based on. So wow, yeah, I don't know exactly how to reconcile that yet, but it was really a super interesting revelation, and I'm very grateful for all of that, because that's something I can definitely work with now going forward, is understanding how it's affecting me and how I feel about myself and my path going forward. And you know, and just some neat stuff. I did definitely have a good cry, and sort of like I'm really angry, and sort of tried to let out some of that anger energy and upsetness about, you know, just, I guess, all the constraints that we have here, and you know, it's just annoying. So, you know, it's Aries energy out there right now. So, you know, kind of maybe I've got my warrior hat on or something. I'm ready to go kick some butt. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, I guess my conclusion is that I now do feel a little more settled about my day anyway. I can go forward and kind of like, I guess, you know, I'm going to just do whatever comes up and whatever comes to me, and be okay with that, and work with this whole bit of new knowledge about, yeah, thinking about rules. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, we'll keep going with this, and love you all, and good luck on your individual journeys, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.